Good afternoon, fellow NASCAR fans. It's Michael here with Fortune Motorsports. Thank you for joining me on a beautiful Monday. Hope everybody out there is having a solid start to their week. Just wanted to do my weekend recap with you guys, talk about what went down or some of the bullet points of what went down this past weekend. By now, I'm sure you guys have seen at least the Cup Series race, if not both Cup and Xfinity, who are on track this weekend in Sonoma. You know I love me some road course racing, so let's dive in. Let's talk about some of the big things that went down. I'm going to start it off with the Xfinity Series race. Several things happened. First and foremost, overall with Xfinity and Cup, let me just say this was not the weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing. It's just a rough weekend. Cars taken out in both races. Various reasons. I know a lot of people were complaining about what Ty Gibbs did, or I saw complaints rather of what Ty Gibbs did in the Xfinity Series race that inevitably led to him taking out his own teammate Chandler Smith, who I felt bad for, just wrong place, wrong time. But the major storyline I'd say coming out of the race is Shane Van Gisbergen, back-to-back Xfinity Series victories, won 2 weeks ago at Portland on the road course, won this weekend at Sonoma on the road course, solidly locked into the Xfinity Series playoffs. I don't know if SVG is a championship contender yet. I know the Roval is in the playoffs. If Shane can make it that deep into it, he'd be a threat for sure. So only time will tell. Again, not terrible as Shane Van Gisbergen on the super speedways and larger tracks, the intermediate tracks. Short tracks, probably not his bread and butter yet. Still going to have to learn there. But I think given some time, definitely he can and will improve. Speaking of SVG, the burnout after the track. He does pretty cool burnouts. I love seeing his post-race celebration where he kicks the rugby ball up into the crowd. That's pretty cool. Nobody else does that. So that's going to make him a fan favorite and set him apart for sure. I like SVG, man. He's got personality. I'm sorry, but some of these NASCAR drivers need to head down to the WWE Performance Center so that way they can learn to cut an interview that does not involve. And I just want to thank after our partners thank you. Yeah, no, I like Shane Van Gisbergen. He's got personality and he's a darn good driver too. So got into it again with Austin Hill. That is a storyline that we will continue to follow this year in the Xfinity Series for sure. I covered it here when I talked about the Coda race and that weekend's recap. They got into it there, cost each other the win. And yeah, that reared its ugly head again Saturday in Sonoma. So gonna see how it goes. But that burnout by Shane, following along by Austin Hill, Austin giving him the bird, letting him know he's number one. Yeah. Ooh, buddy. Interesting. Speaking of interesting, let's move on to the Cup Series Sunday. Whoo, those first two stages, even the announcers were joking about it. Like, can we go caution free? Can we go a lap? Even Kevin Harvick, when they finally made a green flag lap, he's like, oh wow, we finally made a lap. Awesome. This is, by the way, the final, if you didn't know, now you know, this was the final weekend broadcast for Fox. That is now handed over to NBC and USA for Cup and Xfinity. And of course, Truck Series is going to remain on FS1 and FS2. I'll make a separate video this week. I see a lot of people talk about their thoughts on the Fox Sports broadcast when it pertains to NASCAR. I think they're a good partner, but they've just fallen off and fallen back from the way that they used to do things that made sport pop and make it a little more entertaining, especially with pre- and post-race coverages. I'm going to make a separate video about that some other time. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. More than likely later this week I'll drop that out. But back to the Cup race. Cup Series, again, tough day for JGR. If you're a Joe Gibbs Racing fan or one of your drivers drives for JGR, I mean, look at the Truex die-casts. Yeah, Hamlin blows an engine to start. Another bad day for Ty Gibbs, breaks a toe link out of the race. Several incidents and wrecks in the first stages. Michael McDowell hit the tire barrier at one point with Noah Gragson. Thankfully, nothing serious. Nobody hurt. Goodness. Again, Stewart-Haas, though, some troubles. It gets sad to hear about them closing, but they did not have the best day. Josh Berry, Gregson, like I said, some of them drivers. Briscoe caught up in incidents. Ryan Preece, just a terrible day for SHR as well. And some people that needed points or a win like a Kyle Busch at the end, getting into it with Ross Chastain and getting spun. That definitely didn't help Busch's campaign. Busch has just been on the decline, really, since joining RCR, or at least the halfway point of last year. Because he had 3 victories up until the halfway point of last year, and there was a noticeable decline, and it's just followed into this year. His teammate Austin Dillon's no better, sadly. And I'm sorry to number 3 fans. I'm sorry to Austin Dillon fans. It's truth. It's a mediocre ride at this point. Larson getting the job done, earned the win. Final 20 laps of the race, I had a lot of fun watching. We saw the battle where Chris Buescher did a solid job, led a bunch of laps. Looked like he could have won today, got his first win of the season. Buescher's been inching up there closer and closer. The Fords showed their speed when they weren't involved in incidents. Ultimately, though, the driver of the 5, Larson, gets the job done. Days after they announced that he would get a playoff waiver, which I never thought was in doubt, and I thought it was dumb that we were debating it for days. But Larson solidly locked into the playoffs. Other noticeable drivers, I mean, his teammate Chase Elliott, 7 career Cup road course victories. Chase is an ace when it pertains to the road courses. Unfortunately, though, for Elliott, has not won in the next-gen car yet. When it comes to the next-gen car and the driver that's been kind of dominating the field on road courses, Tyler Reddick has been very good, very consistent, had a strong run at certain points yesterday as well. I can't remember his final finishing position. Martin Truex Jr., 2 weeks in a row, a driver runs out of gas at the end. Kyle Busch ran out of gas at the end as well, too. So, again, struggles for the 8 and the 18, but definitely did need that for Truex. Who still doesn't have a win yet, and there's a lot of rumor and innuendo out there about the future of Martin Truex Jr. It's been that way the last few years. If Truex retires, that's just going to blow silly season up. I mean, we got 4 charters out there, 4 drivers looking to get signed, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. So with that being said, friends, I really appreciate you joining me today, tuning in and showing your support as always. If you made it to the end of this video, please hit that like button. It helps get this video and all this Fortune Motorsports content out there for fellow NASCAR fans just like us. Until then, guys, you take it easy, and I will catch you next time.